Hello and welcome. This is Vintage Story. You may have seen it before. It is a game based on a mod of another very popular block game. We will be exploring all Vintage Story has to offer, both mechanic-wise and story-wise. We currently have no mods installed, although modding is very easy, and we may touch on that a little bit in the future. We'll be starting from as default world settings as you can get for an easy way for new players to start the game without worrying too much about world generation or customization. Although I will note that by the time the next episode comes out, I have adjusted the in-game map to the alternate option. Now, before we get into the game, we first need to create our character. And to do that, we start off by deciding what we're going to look and sound like. And as you can see, there are tons of options to choose from. The second thing we will do is choosing our class. For a beginner, I believe that the commoner class is probably the best option, as it provides no downsides, although to counteract that, there are no benefits to it either. It is a very standard character. As you can see, I take a little longer trying to decide between the commoner and the tailor class. However, the commoner class does win out for me today. Alrighty. Well, now that we're in the world, we should take a look around. Now, I believe I said this in the intro while doing character creation, but I'll cover it again. The world settings are the default, that's the word I'm looking for Vintage Story. So I didn't change anything in how things spawn in any way. I may have slight visual differences, and that is pretty sure I just heard something. Purely based on individual preference. Yep. Alright, now we run. Well, I knew spawning in a forest like this would be a problem. There's another wolf over there too. But we're going to go ahead and mark Trader. Let's give him a little chat real quick. I don't know what you mean. I'm not entirely sure myself. What's your name, friend? Wilding. Okay, what do you have to trade? Local goods. Interesting. Okay, cool. So let's mark him on the map here. Local goods. And we'll make local goods purple. We don't need his name. Cool. Okay. And we're going to also mark right about here, this tree in front of us, for resin. We'll come back to that in the future. But our priorities right now: find flint or some sort of workable stone, find some food, and find cattails. And we've got food and some flint. We're gonna need a lot of flint though, so let's keep looking. Man, getting down might be a problem here, hey? Alright, let me find my way down. Okay, we have made it down. I ended up just having to drop off the side right here. But, ooh, hold on. I think this is limestone. Hold on. More mushrooms. Finding edible mushrooms is always a good thing. This is limestone. This is an amazing find, actually. That'll be super handy once we start doing leatherworking. So it's good to know that we are in an area that has an abundance of it, because it's generally hard to find. Or, from what I understand, a lot of people have difficulty finding it or its equivalent. Now, we need to gather up these cattails, because we don't have any sort of inventory. I'm also going to get rid of this. There we go. There is a new player guide. Which is what I just got rid of. It kind of walks you through the beginning phases, which is what we're going to be doing here. But we need a knife to get these reeds. So, if you shift right-click with the flint in your hand, bring up this menu for napping, and we need a knife blade. Now, if you hold down Control, you can actually freely move your mouse around to chip away at each of these sections. And we'll combine the knife head with the stick, and that gives us our knife. And now we just have the fun of cutting down 40 of these cattails. So, let's get into that, and we will throw it into a time lapse. Okay, so we got our 40 cattails, and we took these roots partially because they can be turned into food, but also because you can move them and replant them pretty much anywhere. And that is pretty valuable right now, because we don't know quite where we're going to set up. I have an idea where we're going to set up, but because I've spent about 5-ish minutes or so in this world running around looking at things. And there is a spot. Ooh, chicken of the woods, that's a good mushroom. Which I should be marking good mushrooms on our map, but we will do that some other time. There is a spot I want to go to, but it is all the way over here. So we just have to get there. And I'm thinking maybe going this way is the better idea. And I do need to be careful because sprinting ruins your satiation or your hunger bar, which is that green bar down on the bottom right above my baskets. Now, We could very easily run into wolves and bears and stuff going this route, but I still think it's going to be easier to navigate. Because we can just run along the coast here. So, we're going to... Actually, before we get too far, we're going to make a couple spears so we can defend ourselves. I think 3 ought to do for now. Whoops. Well, we're also making a shovel, apparently. That is my fault. This is probably one of the more interesting mechanics of the game. Just because I feel like you don't see stuff like this very often in game design. Okay. Or at least not in games similar to this. Alrighty. Then let's go ahead and eat our cranberries. Big old pine tree here. This could have resin on it. Resin is super useful later in the game. Oh, yep, that's a wolf, I think, in front of us. Oh no, that is a bear. We are going to just go around him. Because we don't want anything to do with him. Alrighty, I'm going to navigate this lake, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Actually, before I get going too far here, I do want to point something out, and that is in the center of my screen, at the bottom of my hotbar, right here, you can see this gear is moving. We are in an area that is considered unstable. So the longer we stay here, more bad things will start to happen. So we definitely want to live in a place where that gear is not moving. Also, I'm only picking the bushes that are ripe and ready to harvest. And you can see the gear is starting to slow down a little bit, so we're getting out of that zone. Alright, I'm gonna keep marching here. Alright, we are almost to where I want to start settling down, but I saw this trader here, so we're going to pop in and say hello to him. And see what he has to offer. Obviously, we don't have anything to trade, but... What's your name, trader? Got anything to trade? It's another local goods trader, huh? Alrighty. Go ahead and mark him. Go ahead and mark the local purple. Okay. There we go. And we're going kind of over by those mountains over there. So, almost there. Well, we didn't quite get where I needed to before night fell. We're in kind of a sticky situation here. Just over this ledge, you can kind of see it. Ah! There's a rift which summons monsters. So, I am tempted to just run. The thing that just attacked us is called a shiver, and they are awful, awful things. The place I want to go is just over here, I believe. It's a nice flat area with good soil and access to the ocean, because sailing is going to be a huge part of our experience. And I want to do as much of that as we can when the time comes. Oh, beautiful, another trader. We might just hole up with him for the night. Or her. Oh, beautiful. My savior. And you are? Innis, treasure hunter. What do you have? Okay. Some clothes, a scroll. I don't know what that is. Temporal gear. These are going to be super nice. They let you set your spawn point, as well as a few other things. We might just use his bed and sleep through the night. It's going to tank all of our saturation, but to be perfectly honest, I would rather that than sit here doing nothing. And it's daytime. And yeah, this is where I was talking. This is where I wanted to live. Let me go ahead and mark him as well. Make him yellow. Yeah, these couple little lakes right here is where I was thinking. And then we do need to eat. And that looks like a bear. Maybe we'll lure it over to the trader's hut and see if we can kill it. That would be really nice, actually. But I think this is where we're going to call home. Oh, we got some mushrooms, too. Are they? Yeah, perfectly edible. Beautiful. And we've got clay right here as well. Man, this is good. The only problem is we're going to have to do some climbing for trees. But I think this will work. Now, let's go kill a bear. Oop. Well. Hit the wrong button to sprint. That's my bad. And then pretty sure he's following us. Oh, maybe not. Oh, yep, there he is. They still reach us, hey? Grab my spears. Dance around him here. Jump inside. Damn, that didn't kill him. He's over there. I'd like to get my spears back, but... I'm a professional. I'm a professional. Oh boy, okay. Excuse me? Hello? What happened? Uh-oh. Please hold. Alright, so that was interesting. I spawned in these 2 blocks right here. Don't know how, but I did. I had to enable creative mode in order to actually get out. Now, we need to go in that direction to get back to our body. Hopefully we can do so in a timely manner. Alrighty, we are coming up. Bear is still here. So this could be interesting. I think we can tank a hit as we run up into the shelter. Obviously, I'd rather we didn't take any hits, but... You know, beggars. There we go. Okay. Oh boy, okay. We've got 2 of our spears. No, we got all 3. Okay. We do need to get rid of him, regardless, so... Oh, did that actually kill him? Was he seriously 1 hit? Man, that's not fair. Eat these so we have some room. Black currant bushes, go there. Grab our knife and we'll skin him. 11 bear meat, a pelt, and some fat. That's amazing. Yeah, we can take the bones too. Nice. Okay. I want to mark this real quick because I see it. What do we have here? Rye. Okay. Now, I'm going to find a spot kind of over here. I think... oh, excuse me. I think around here, actually, is probably perfect. So we have these 2 ponds. So, let's get cutting grass. And there goes our... Okay. What I need to do... I need to make a new knife, yes, but... I think, if I remember correctly... Which, I didn't say, but to pull this up, if you hover over an item, or if you're in world and you shift and press H, You can hover over an item as well and press H, and that'll pull open this as well. We can oil this hide with the bear fat that we have. And then, oops. And then the bear fat, or the oiled hide, can be salted. But we want to do this because it stores for a lot longer. But for now, we can just set it down. And I have a shovel, so we're going to go gather up a bunch of low fertility dirt as quickly as we can, so that we can build ourselves a hideaway. Something to protect us from nature. Oh, and that's the rifts I was talking about before that are dangerous. So that's neat. I don't like that one of those showed up already. We need a bunch of dirt, and we need a bunch of wood. So I'm going to get to digging. Alright, so I have unfortunately muted myself for the past few minutes. I will roughly explain the thoughts that I was going through. Just get these down for now. We are trying to get as much clay as we can before it gets too dark, so we have something to do over the night. And the little hut we built is made out of, as you probably saw, rammed earth, which is just a bunch of dirt combined together. And this is the downside of this door, specifically. It will break like 40% of the time. It's ridiculous. But not like we have much choice. Okay, and then I think in this corner here is going to be our fire. Oh, right, it's not sticks. And then we'll go ahead and put our firewood there. And then, well, we have a torch that we can throw up here. And we'll finish off our roof. Beautiful. Okay. Ah, I was afraid of that. Luckily, we get all that wood back. And we don't have much for storage. So let's see if we can't throw those guys out here for now. Okay. And we're going to do one last thing, I believe, before we call it a day here at the end of night 2. We're going to do some clay throwing real quick. So similar to flint napping, we're going to shift right click on the ground. And one of the first things I think we're going to make is a couple of these clay vessels, because they are storage. And then, again, we can hold down the left Alt key by default and just drag our mouse around. So, I'm going to work through these, and we will probably throw that as another time lapse. Okay, well, it's almost daytime. You can kind of see the sky starting to lighten up a bit. If you open up your character menu by pressing C, you can see a whole bunch of information here. Now, you can see it's currently 3:45 a.m. So, daytime will be soon, which means the enemies in the night, as you can kind of see them here where my cursor is, they should start to go away. There's one there. That is a drifter. That is the weakest of the monsters, but they're still not something you want to mess with when you don't have much going in terms of clothing and armor, or weapons for that matter. So we're going to wait a little bit longer for daytime. I've cooked up all of our bear meat, and we're going to go gather some more cattails to alleviate some of our storage issues until we can get these taken care of, because there's a bit more to the process for this. So let's wait out just a little bit longer. Okay. It is 5 a.m. I don't know. There's still a bow torn there, unfortunately. Luckily, they are easier to deal with. I just need to get close to them because they don't have a melee. There's another one. And that's the second rift we've had out here. It said that rift activity was low, but okay, that's something I've not seen. We'll go skid our other guy, and hopefully we have enough cattails here to make the basket that I want to make. We're also going to harvest up the roots. And then... Alright. This shouldn't take too long. Alright, so we've got 24 cattails. And if we combined 8 sets of 3, we get ourselves a reed chest. Which doesn't hold much, but it is far and away better than what we are currently dealing with in terms of storage. Should get these planted too. I love currant bushes because you can stack them like so. Okay. Now, before we call it quits, I want to get some more wood and some more sticks so we can get those clay vessels fired. And then I think we'll call it an episode after that. Okay, I think right here is where we're going to set up our pit kilns, which is how we turn those clay vessels into something usable. Now, something we do need to do, just to be safe, is line this so grass can't spread. And yes, this rift behind us is still active. A shiver just spawned and almost tore my face off. Now, I think it can go 2 out, actually. Which is unfortunate. And then we'll just turn this into packed dirt, I think. This should also stop the spread of grass. Okay. And that should be our pit kiln. And we are going to need some sort of sky coverage in case it rains, which it seems to rain here fairly frequently. There's our shovel, luckily. I made a spare head on accident. And we'll throw that and that. So that should be safe. There's my knife. I gathered up some peat for us to use as well. I did actually end up oiling up this bear hide. Oh, another shiver spawned. And it's coming right for us. Ooh, got our first flax fiber. Nice. Before we actually start this firing, oh, actually we don't have enough sticks for that. So we're just going to go ahead and start this. And then we just hit it with a torch. And up at the top it says lit. I believe this will take about 18 in-game hours. So, with that said, I think we are going to call it there. Thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Have a good one.